we got big issues. My goodness, the U.S. dollar is being threatened as we speak, as we get away, or we need to get away. We got away this second in the 70s when we terminated the gold standard, backing up the dollar by an actual, but gold, a physical, tangible asset. Everything has been going downhill from there. Anytime we got into any kind of issue, we just printed our way out of it, and now we are in massive trouble. Our debt sheet is a runaway train. So this is going to end poorly at some point. I mean, we have debt. We basically kicked the can down the road to the point now we're just kicking a Volkswagen down the road. That can is mighty, mighty big. It's not, it's like I always say, it's a runaway train. It's left the station. It's not coming back. At some point, we will pay the piper from all the stimulus, quantitative easing, the gold standard being removed, you name it. And speaking of gold, of course, we have our loyal sponsor, Noble Gold, today. We'll be hearing more about them a little later, but I absolutely believe right now you got to get some diversified in a big, big way. So we'll hear from them later. But the reality is this, friends. We could, in fact, see bank runs happen again because the dollar is very fragile right now. People don't trust it. They're not trusting the banking system. We continue to see big establishment and big banking take over small banking. Everything now is pointed towards some type of reset in the financial markets. And I believe, friends, at some point, we're one news event away from seeing another 1929 Great Depression bank run all over again. We saw how quick the bailouts occurred the second we had bank failures. And friends, we're at the front end of this. Listen up, friends. Let's cut to the chase. Typically, speaking of Chase, JP Morgan Chase, they're right now continuing to manipulate these things. They want to be the central bank of the world. This is greed sweeping these markets. They know a collapse is coming. They know a collapse is eventually coming. It's now just what it's going to look like. Clean up on aisle 5. How are we going to achieve this? The U.S. is at risk of losing the global reserve currency status. Make no mistake about that, friends, as now we just turn on the printers every time we get in trouble. But like I said, we're kicking the Volkswagen down the street. So at some point, we will have to do a new monetary system. The dollar is, in fact, on borrowed time, and it makes me a little nervous, right? And I'm sure it does you as well. Because if all your money, or the majority of it, is digits on a screen, do you have much confidence? I know personally, like I look at that almost as monopoly money. I really want to get it into tangible assets because I believe moving forward, as this unfolds, we will probably get into... Friends, a quick break from the show to bring you today's video sponsor, Noble Gold. I would never suggest anybody do anything that I'm not doing or willing to do myself. I own gold and I believe you should as well. Let's hear why. The US dollar has lost 85% of its value since the 70s when the dollar decoupled from gold, and the government seems bent on continuing the tradition. From now until the next election, the government can print as much money as they want. The last time they did that, inflation went up 9%. Gold is the one asset that's proven to withstand inflation. Invest in gold with Noble Gold Investments. You'll also get a 24-karat quarter-ounce gold standard coin for free. Hurry and go to noblegoldinvestments.com or visit the link in the description of this video or pinned comments. To Noble Gold for sponsoring today's video. Always be careful when investing. There's always going to be risk. Now, let's get back to today's monetary system, and we might get into a situation where this whole narrative of we'll own nothing but be happy, meaning we see the government bailouts now. We're starting with we've already priced people out. They can't tolerate, just everyday life anymore, so we're pushing people to the streets. 1, 2, 3 jobs just to pay your bills. That can't sustain itself. The homeless population continues to spike, and we're going to continue to tax people to house those people. The challenge has always been with the homeless situation, in my opinion. If you find yourself in the gutter, you're a lot less likely to climb out of it if we come in and furnish the gutter for you, make it comfortable in there. And that's in fact what we're doing. So we're breaking all the wrong records. We're going after this completely the wrong way. But it makes me sometimes think, I want to diversify myself. I want to get into, God's currency, some gold and silver, whether it's physical or through some investments, which we will be doing, which I do myself, and real estate, tangible assets, land. I mean, this might be our last opportunity to do that. If I'm buying property, you guys listen, you got to understand this. I believe you don't get hurt in real estate necessarily when you buy at the wrong time. You get hurt in real estate when you sell at the wrong time. Millions of people are going to be forced into selling, whether they receive a bailout and are able to have some type of ownership in that property or not is yet to be seen. I don't know. This might be too big. This might be a big old economic depression and collapse. But if in fact it's saved, you won't own anything anymore. You'll own nothing and be happy. It'll be a select few, probably the people here at this channel that maybe got in and were able to own some physical, tangible assets. But if you only own digits on a screen, I think you're extremely vulnerable at this moment in time. So with that being said, if you want to know the best way to buy real estate right now, in my humble opinion, it's find out where prices are within the national average. I've shown you a lot of properties here where you can buy for 100 grand. I've shown you properties where you can buy for 10 grand here in the country. I think you need to buy a piece of real estate, and we'll continue to look at that. Even if you went off to one of these places that you just bought a $10,000 property and sat on it, even if it wasn't in a great area, it's a horrible area, but at least it's a piece of property. You own a tangible asset. It all depends on how much money you have, your risk tolerance. But if it's all digits on the screen, I think it's time to diversify that if you can and go buy property where you can, maybe some metals, maybe some investments that are backed by metals, things like that. I think that's the safest bet at this time. Now, if you're looking for your primary home, Scott, I just want to buy my primary home, but I'm afraid to catch a falling knife. I'm going to help you with that. What you can do, my friends, is simply this. You always want to look where the U.S. national average is. Where is it? $400,000 range. If you can buy in the threes, low fours, I would prefer to see a 3 in front of your number. And you can examine my cost to carry if you're pulling a mortgage. If you can own it for the same cost or less than what you could rent it for, I think you're probably pretty safe in that environment. If you're buying outside that environment way above the national average, you just need to make sure you come in swinging, skin in the game. Make sure you put enough money down on that property. If you're carrying a mortgage, or if you're all cash, okay, who cares? As long as you don't want to be too real estate heavy either. You want to be diversified for sure. But because your cost to operate the home, there's always going to be costs associated with that, property tax, maintenance, everything that comes along with the property. But I believe, my friends, if you buy a home in America, you buy within the national average and make sure it pencils out, you should be okay. But the realities are this, friends. Booms and busts, correction, recession, depression. Those are the 3 levels of an economic downturn that have circulated throughout history. We've always had them. So you get to decide where we're headed next. Correction, recession, depression. Mathematically, the 100-year cycle that shows depressions throughout history have always cycled. We're in that mathematics cycle again. And I believe the crisis put us right into prime candidate position to find ourselves in another economic depressionary level of a downturn. Even in the Great Depression of 1929, which we saw bank runs and bank collapses, which I believe we're headed for again. Unfortunately, it pains me to say it. I can't guarantee it, but if I was a betting man, I would say at some point we will see that. Whether it's next week, next year, I don't know. But at some point, I believe it's coming. My guess is it's probably sooner than later as the economic, political, and social news continues to show more and more fractures. But I believe we're potentially visiting one of those again. The challenge about this one, my friends, is the news right now is very alarming, and we're not even in official recession. Can you imagine if we were in official recession? One news event away from a complete race to the bottom. And we know if it bleeds, it leads. It's probably going to find its way on mainstream media. No forward thinking, no solutions. I believe our solutions today are insulating ourselves, playing it safe. It's better to be prepared for something and have it not happen than have something happen and not be prepared. In final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator. Somebody wants to see you not only win in real estate, win in life. We could see, in fact, some more bank runs occur. We've already seen bank failures happen. We came in and tried to do cleanup on aisle 5 real quick and get it brushed off into the rear view mirror. Unfortunately, we're at the front end of this right now. This is in fact something that's probably threatening the U.S. economy as we speak. I'm going to continue to raise awareness, ring the bell, sound the alarm every step of the way, because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there. Along with the links to channels I've appeared on, I think you might enjoy. If you need help buying or selling real estate here in America, I have the biggest network of top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you. It'd be our honor and our privilege to do so. Email in the description for you as well. Also, if you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, I know you're going to love the next video, and there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today. I'll see you on the next video.